All right, so the word that we have now is this, pandemic, pandemic. Now, what I've noticed a lot of times is when you pronounce this word, it always sounds like pandemic, pandemic, excuse me. And when I pronounce this word, it's always pandemic, pandemic. Now, in order for you to understand the difference even better, what I'll do is I'll put this word into two sentences. In the first sentence, I'll pronounce this word incorrectly. And in the second sentence, I'll pronounce this word correctly. What you need to do is very carefully observe the difference between the two pronunciations. So here goes the first sentence where this word is going to be pronounced incorrectly. Coronavirus is a pandemic. Coronavirus is a pandemic. Now, here's the second sentence with this word pronounced correctly. Coronavirus is a pandemic. Coronavirus is a pandemic. Now, I'm sure you understood the difference here very nicely. Let's understand, why do we have this difference in the first place? What's causing both the pronunciations to be different from each other? Well, it's the syllable stress pattern that's causing both the pronunciations to be different. In your pronunciation, like when you pronounce it, what you do is you stress the first syllable of the word, and it sounds like pandemic, pandemic. And what I do is I stress syllable immediately before the suffix ic, ic, that is ic. And this word then sounds like pandemic, pandemic. So that is the first, and I'd say the major difference between your pronunciation and mine. I'm using the chat box on purpose because I do not want you to get distracted with me opening a PPT and breaking the rhythm of the class. So I'm using the chat box as of now. I have all the rules in a PPT that I'll be sharing with you once we end the session. Okay, so there is a rule to it, which is really important for you to understand. Whenever we use the suffix ic, which we pronounce as ic, we always put the stress on the syllable immediately before the suffix ic. We always stress the penultimate syllable. And this way we can ensure that all the words that have the suffix ic are pronounced correctly. Okay, so we'll start with the same example. Sorry. Pandemic, pandemic. Another example is a very commonly mispronounced word, academic, academic. A lot of people mispronounce it as academic, academic. They get confused between academy and academic. So out of this confusion, they end up pronouncing this word as academic, whereas the correct pronunciation is academic. So you can see we are following the same rule as we followed the one that we followed in the word pandemic. So academic. Magnetic, electromagnetic. Unfortunately, a lot of people pronounce this as magnetic, electromagnetic. No, it's electromagnetic, electromagnetic, climatic. These are a few examples. So We will work on more examples like these, but as of now, I want you to really understand this uh, carefully. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask.